I'm Kshal Aideron, and I'm here with episode 6 of Voices in New Eden. Before we get started, though, if you could hit the like on the video down below, and maybe consider subscribing to the channel, this does help tell the YouTube algorithm to put these videos into more people's suggestions that look up Eve online. And, of course, this is why I'm doing these videos. Telling our player stories is what connects the greater community. But you know what else connects the community? Third-party tools that allow players to find ship fittings so you can undock and become part of the action. You may not know the player that's in this episode, but I guarantee you're going to know his website, Eve Workbench. But you're not here to listen to me, so let's get into the interview.
Yes, well, my name is Lionear, in game also known as Lionear Marikari, but out of game just as Lionear itself. Been playing Eve since 2016 right now, on and off, and since 2019 as a regular. Ooh, good question. Why Eve? Well, at first I didn't really like it because it was too difficult, but at the end I think that's also the thing I really like about the game. There are so many options for you to do. For myself, I am a PvE player, so I do a lot of missions and abyssals, etc. Yeah, you can also do other things like mining or the occasional PvP within the same game, which is kind of unique these days. Yeah, well, I play it more offline than online, I guess, and that's due to a small website I created in 2019 called Eve Workbench. We started to develop as a small market website to get information about how the orders were coming that we wanted to buy, and what I was selling myself. At the same time, a streamer taunted us to create a fitting website since there was no such thing anymore since Osmian just passed away. In our opinion, we had something like it's not too difficult to create a fitting website. At least we thought at the moment, and oh boy, were we wrong about it. But yeah, we did it, and it grew and grew. We took over another community last year as well, the Abyss Tracker, and we are currently still expanding with new stuff. And we actually just started with the development of Eve Workbench 2. Yeah, well, Eve Workbench is, of course, one of the communities. We try to engage with our users occasionally on stream as well. So that's my other community. I am a streamer. I should do it more, but I always forget or I have other things to do. But yeah, I'm part of the Common Nonsense team. Maybe people heard of it. It's a group of Eve enthusiasts. I think I said that correctly. Yeah, who also like to stream the game, and I utilize it as well to promote Eve Workbench across streamers because we want to be the tool for everyone, and I try to engage with other communities as well. Well, the thing in game I wish to see changed is there should be more PvE content. Even though I know it's a PvP sandbox, it would be nice to have an occasional update on that as well. Even though I cannot really complain about the stuff that's around, but just some new stuff would be nice. Outside of that, the ESI itself is somewhat of a troublesome thing sometimes. Luckily, CCP knows it, and I think they want to do something with it, but they should do something with the stability, for example, on the market endpoint, but also at the character endpoint at some moments. Well, I do have the hopes, but they are not really high in that manner because it's not the core functionality of the game, which I also fully understand. But it makes it harder for third-party developers like us, or like Ariel Ren, or Squish from Zkillbot, for example, to make sure that our services are also online when the game is, since that's what you want. But I do think the positive influence with Ariel Ren in the CSM is that someone that is using the ESI really much, is now closer on the dev team. My absolute favorite activity would be doing level 4 missions. I just love to fly around and doing them with a very overfitted ship, so I know for sure I can't lose it. And yeah, I do that on stream as well with a Marauder. So it's also making it a bit fun for everyone to watch. But I also know that I can become a target. So it is a very fun thing to see if you can make it out alive. No, never had actually. I know other people have, but in my opinion, that also is caused by obscuring stuff on your screen. If I'm streaming, everyone can see where I am, and I really don't care. If people want to gank me, well, go ahead. Shit when it happens, but yeah, what can you do about it? But if you don't obscure your screen, they are more likely not to try and find you. I started streaming due to Eve Workbench, actually. We make tools for streamers, and the only way to find out if those tools are working properly is by streaming and using it yourself. So the first few streams I did was without voice, without cam, and just by typing on stream and doing basic stuff and talk about the workbench, of course. And that became more and more a thing. And eventually, I really started to like streaming. And the engagement I get due to the workbench is really amazing. It's a really amazing community. Yeah, I did. I also did a few streams to both YouTube and Twitch, but somehow Twitch is more stable than YouTube from my end of, so maybe I'm doing it wrong. So if someone knows how to fix it, contact me so I can check it out. But yeah, I in general, I think it's better to do both platforms, as there are people that cannot visit Twitch or vice versa, and the community on YouTube is a bit different than on Twitch, of course. Yeah, Eve Journal, another project we announced during Eve Amsterdam. We also started that at the moment we started with Eve Workbench 2, but Eve Workbench 2 is more or less the underground for Journal as well. So we do have the basic project up and running, so we can see how the GUI would be, and we have some basic things ready in the back office, so for guides, etc. But the real development hasn't started yet. But basically, what Eve Journal is aimed to be is something like the Abstractor, but then for missions, DDs, crab sites, everything besides what Abstractor does and what Eve Workbench does. We think it deserves a separate community for that. And we also want to invite other content creators to help us out with that, as we want to make it a platform for everyone, to make it easier to find guides, tutorials, and that kind of stuff for the rookies or for veteran players, instead of scouring entire Google, which is always a difficult thing in my opinion, to find the correct things, while giving the people the stability and the infrastructure of Eve Workbench, also linked with the fits, so you can create a guide and then link a fit or maybe multiple fits with it. And we also want to do something with the PvP community, or in the communities that do fleets. We have a fleet composer on Eve Workbench as well, but we want to take it a step further with Eve Journal. So it's going to be a next big project we are going to start with, and I hope we can start it early next year so we can have the first draft available during FanFest. That will be a stupid thing I did. During the Triglavian invasion, I had a really expensive rattlesnake which I lost due to stupidity live on stream. It was my very first stream. It was my very first 5 minutes of the stream, and I lost a 2.8 billion rattlesnake. But that's also a really great memory for me, since I lose a lot of ships, and that was the biggest one at that time. Yeah, one last thing is more in regards of the tools we create, of course, with Eve Workbench, Abstracker, Eve Journal, and also with our alternative killboard, Eve Workbench, which is offline at the moment, by the way. If you have ideas, if you have bugs you encounter on our websites, never hesitate to contact us, because we are always willing to listen to new ideas, to what goes on within the community. Because we can make the tools. We are also users of our own tools, but we are just 3 people, and the Eve community is way bigger, and everyone has its own use case of our website. And in the end, all those different use cases together make one big use case. And we really want to, make that the thing to be our goal. So if you have ideas, join the Discords on the Eve Workbench side, ping me on stream or so ever.
Since I started playing the game almost 5 years ago, every CSM election, someone will inevitably point out all of the candidates who don't play the game. What they mean is those players don't play Eve the way the complainers play the game. Could you imagine judging some of the players who bring us the third-party tools, websites, streams, and videos as harshly as CEOs and directors in the big corporations and alliances are judged? Today's interview just goes to show that every player engages with the game in their own way. Be it developing tools, writing tutorials, or just sitting in an asteroid belt in high-sec mining for a few hours. There are very few ways of playing the game wrong. There are a few, though. Next week, you're going to get to hear from another content creator. However, instead of someone who develops tools for us to use, this is someone who's only been playing the game for a very short time and started streaming the same day that he started playing. So make sure to hit the notifications button, and then you'll know when the video is released. If you are interested in telling your own Eve story, make sure you check out the contact information in the description below. I'm Kshal Aideron, and you've been watching Voices in New Eden.